Good morning. I hope my video stays on. Today we got the data here in Toronto. Alle gute Sachen. So I want to speak about you, the man. You, the man. Hey, you, the man. How are we saying this? I like to think about you are an Adam. Good morning, Asaf. Good morning to you. I like to say you, the man, means you are an Adam. That means that you have a shleimus. Good morning. That means that you have a wholeness to you with a WH. Okay, you're not a donut. You have a hole with an HOLE. You have wholeness. You're an Adam. You, the man, means you're an Adam. So it's interesting here because we define ourselves in the Mishnah. Okay, this is Perek Revi. Did we do that this week? Maybe next week. I think we did Revi this week. But I didn't even plan on talking about this because it's this week's Pirkei Avos. That's just interesting that we just learned it yesterday, according to my calculations, which are somewhat, they are what they are. I do my best. Good morning. So it says in the 4th chapter of Pirkei Avos, number 15, it says, we don't have in our hands the security of the wicked or the afflictions of the righteous. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that part, because it brings the second part. I mean, obviously they're related, but I haven't figured that out necessarily. But it says here, Rabbi Boruch Merkur in there, have makdim bishloim kol adam. You should be the first to say, hey, how are you? Good morning. You're the first one to do that. I don't know if people cut that out of the Pirkei Avos. I think that's I have a censored version here. You're supposed to say hello to everybody. Look what the Meforshim say. The Bartanura, the classic commentary. Be the first to greet every person, and even to a Gentile in the marketplace. Okay, it doesn't say you're Gentile in a person that you work with. Well, it does, in the marketplace. But just a stranger you meet that could be there. He doesn't have to be in your household. You're supposed to say hello to him too. According to Bartanura on this Mishnah in Pirkei Avos. My question is why is it Adam? Does that exclude the Ish and the Gever and the Enish? Does it exclude the other classifications of humanity, which are less seemly necessarily? They're less savory. The Adam is the highest level. So does that mean only that? I'm only Havimaktim bishleim kol Adam. But to every other, you don't have to say hello to. Bartanura says no. It means even the Gentile in the marketplace, he's teaching you that when it says Adam here, it doesn't mean to the exclusion of the Gever, or the Enish, or the dude, or the, hey, you're the man, that kind of guy, the dude, Lord. It's not just talking about the Adam. Why? If it means everybody, Bartanura learns pshat, it's talking about everybody, okay? Even the Gentile. Why? Why? That's crazy. In the Tanya, there's some diuk. I forget the one that says ha'adam. You have to be humble before ha'adam, every person. And sometimes with the hey, it includes the Gentile or not. Here it has without the hey. And the Bartanura learns pshat. It means to every Gentile even. You have to say hello to. Then it goes on to say, it says, that's what to be. You the man, you want to be a man? What are you going to be when you're a man? How do we define that? Because what's the type of person that could say hello to everybody on the street? What type of person is that? That's a Zanav L'Aroyas. That is a tail to a lion. It doesn't say to be a man, to be a person. How does it define a man? You want to be a man? You be a crown of the king, because the king lifts up his tail higher than even its head. Here he learns pshat. You're supposed to be a tail to those greater than you, and not a head to foxes, meaning to those lesser than you. Okay, but I've given you a pshat. I can't remember where my source was. It says that the tail of the lion is lifted up above his head. It's his crown. Okay, that's what a great person does. He lifts other people up. So the Adam, we're defining the man as like a tail of a lion, not even just the lion, the tail of a lion. I have sources that tell that. I have sources. The Gemara speaks about Rabbi Yossi, who was the only person that said he would. Everyone would say, I don't want to be around when Mashiach comes. It's going to be a cataclysmic time. Don't put me there. I can't handle it. It's not for the faint of heart to be around right before Mashiach comes. Rabbi Yossi says, or Rabbi Yosef, I translated half of it. I never finished it. It's the one thing I didn't finish. interestingly. Oh no, some of the projects I'd started, I didn't finish. It's not a lonely exception to the rule. So, so I was translating the Sikha about this Rav Yossi, that he was the only one amongst all the sages who said, I'm looking forward to it, and you know what? If I was to sit in the shade of the dung of the donkey of Mashiach, it would be worth it just to be there. Okay, that's what he asks. So long as he has the shade from the dung of the halavai, he would be worthy, he says. If only I'd be worthy to sit in the shadow of the dung of the donkey of Mashiach. So the Rebbe goes into what that means. Not just the donkey, which is chaimer, the chumrius, the physicality of the world. Not just that aspect that Mashiach's going to transform. But the most external excretion from this animal. Not only that, but the shade that it produces. Okay, it probably doesn't smell very nice, but he's halavai, they should be worthy. And I think the Rebbe says there that, you could use, fertilizer, everything has a practical use, and he wants to be in the shade of it. He derives a practical use, not from its original use that it's intended for, and it's like completely removed. And he wants that connection with Mashiach, because Mashiach is that precious. Can you say that you want Mashiach that badly? Well, you don't worry, you're in good company, because all of his chavrei were not with him on that. They weren't holding by that level. I want to just put on some background music here that's going to be very distracting to everybody, but maybe it'll set a tone. Can you hear that? I think it's pretty cool to have some psychedelic music in the background. Is that totally... Does it matter whether the guy has a circumcision or not? Or, probably not. I mean, songwriter's Jewish, probably. One of them. Anyways, it says in the Zohar... I'm going to turn this down a little bit if that distracts you. I'm just having fun here. So it says in the Zohar, it brought in the Shir Shirim, in Likutei Torah, of the Alter Rebbe. Everything in its right place, right? You got to have things in the right place in life. Okay, maybe this is completely inappropriate. I'm not saying that I'm right all the time. But everything in its right place is such an important message about what it means to be an Adam. You want to be an Adam? Be the tail of a lion. So you have the tail, you have everything from the head to the tail, everything represented there. And where should you be? Be the tail, but of a lion. Look up to ideals that are worth latching yourself on, attaching yourself like a tail is to a lion. And you don't grab the lion's tail and get away with it without You're going to get roared at and you'll be shaking in your boots. So I want to talk about shaking in your boots. Because I came across this Shabbos an awesome teaching in Shir Shirim of the Alter Rebbe. His commentary in Shir Shirim. It brings a Zohar to Yisrael u'malachim mekadshe leila ela v'sata kula kechada. Jewish people, the souls, or Jewish people, and angels sanctify God above and below, all as one. You want to talk about a synchronized choir and perfect harmony? The souls and the angels. And there's 3 levels that is really awesome here, because we're talking about 2 people. And we get 3 out of this, okay? 2 and 2 equals 5. Okay, I'm just dropping references all over the place today, aren't I? So it says that in order to daven, here it describes the davening as tefillah ikara ha'alas man de pnimis. What is prayer all about? It's the elevation of man. What's man? Mayim nukvin, the feminine waters. You have feminine water, masculine waters. Each one comes from a perspective. The feminine water. I can say we when I say feminine, right? How can I have I don't identify. My kids are always making fun of that expression. How do you identify? Okay, we're going to turn that off now. That served its purpose to set a mood. Probably some other good mood setters. But I'm not going to risk it. So the main thing of davening is ha'alas man de pnimis. The inner lower waters. Mayin Nukvim means this elicitation from on high of godly attention. It's done through a process of Kuchabriku Shchinte. God falls in love with the Shekhinah, which when it descends upon the Jewish people, then that's a manifestation that allows the Shekhinah to be in the world. So you have God, which is infinite in a finite world, and that's the ultimate yin yang that God desires. He wants Hashem wants that. If you don't like it, turn the dial. Okay? Everything in its right place. God made a world with an infinite, made a head of a lion, and he made a tail. You could be a tail of a lion, of a head of a fox. Attach yourself to a different yin yang. It's complete the foxy side of things. We're not into the foxy, we're in the lion side of things. So a lion roars, and his roar is a prayer. Malchus is the lion, right? It says anis fila. Malchus, it says, is I am prayer. That's David HaMelech. That's Malchus, the kingship. And it says, the lower lights constantly shine or praise the higher lights. They're always pouring themselves out to the higher lights. So here we have water we're talking about, or Maim Nukvim, okay? However you want to translate that. That is the main thing of doubting, but there's a pneumistic expression of that. There's an inner way to express that. We're trying to elicit in God interest in us, okay? And how do we do that? We do that by saying, I love you, God. God, you're infinite. I'm going to nullify myself to recognize and appreciate your infinity. So that's only possible if I take my finite mindset and say, I'm going to open it up. I'm just going to let myself fall into you in every way. I mean, it means giving stuff. It means being nice. It means smiling at a person. Having makdim shlem kol adam. You, for the first one to say hello. So it finds expression. It's described actually in this mimer in terms not too different from that. But Torah mitzvahs, okay, that's the way we do it. That's the way we connect to the lion. But we do that in an inner way. That happens through davening. So you want to get the very core of the lion and get his attention and want him to lift you up above his head and become his precious, become the Knesset Yisrael, the Shechinte, the Matronissa, whatever way you swing on those words, whatever lexicon is your flavor of the month. Baskin Robbins, 31 flavors or something. So the angels and the souls praise God as one. And it describes how that is, because the whole idea of prayer is to reach the infinite. You're calling out to the infinite. And that's done through raising up your waters to God. Water represents pleasure. So when you say, my pleasure is you, that's a pretty powerful praise of God. So it says here something fascinating. You would think that God created the world b'shvil Yisrael, for the Jewish people, right? B'shvil Torah, b'shvil Yisrael, base rachis. Two reasons why God created the world, base rachis. B'shvil Yisrael, shenikraim rachis. They're called rachis tfuasa, I believe. The first produce of God is the Jewish people. The ultimate, the cream of the crop, right? Seif ma'isa achshava tchila. So you got this yin yang there too, okay. Don't get carried away. Good morning. So it says the souls are actually lacking in this respect. The souls as they are below, like you and me, invested within a body, we're clothed within a body. Nikras ha'alas man b'chinas chitzaynius. We are the superficial type of prayer to God. Now, keep that in mind, because we're going to see that is not what you think it means. We're going to see that there's a link to the third level. We'll see what that is. Because in the middle of that Oreo cookie is angels. Angels are in the middle. Okay, we're going to have an Oreo cookie. They're the white. The angels are white, right? That's the creamy filling of the Oreo cookie is the angels, because they're awesome. They also have feminine waters. She'ein gufim gashmi, but they don't have physical body. Oh no, sorry. She'enim guf begufais begashmi, v'lchen mislabshim berish be'esh ha'aval mipnimius. Okay, the angels, since they don't have physical bodies, we've spoken about before how we go like Ramban, who says that angels have a physical component. We described that every physical thing needs 4 elements. They are lacking 2. They're lacking water and earth. Okay, now we're talking about elevating water. So what water are they elevating? It's a spiritual type of water. They don't have water in them. They're fire and wind, or air. So here we're saying they're not physical, because they're lacking 2 elements. They're not really physical, but they can interact with the physical world in some ways. They're fire. So they invest themselves within the flaming fire for God, b'pnimius, in an internal way. And so too with fear. They tremble and sweat from the valor of God's throne, or the magnificence of his throne. Okay, that's magnificent to even say. I'm looking for more water. Someone beat me to that. Okay, no water? I know I have it somewhere. Okay, we'll do without. Nope, disappeared. Okay, so they're inflamed. They have this inner love for God. This is the difference between the kedusha that the Jewish people say in prayer. We say kedusha, or maybe it just means in general, but I think it's talking about kaddish, 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 right? Bein ha'alasman shel kedushas hamalachim. Oh no, it's talking about their sanctity, their essential holiness that they have. V'yesh ein madrega shlishis. So they're internal, whereas the Jewish people, as they exist within bodies, the souls and bodies, that is chitzenius, the external. But there's another level, says the Alter Rebbe. We said 2. The Zohar specifies 2 things. The Alter Rebbe brings out a 3rd thing. Okay, he's darshaning this Zohar, and that's the way he's interpreting it. Not the way you would, not the way I would. I wouldn't make up a 3rd level. But he says the Jewish souls have 2 expressions. Have 2 ways to appear. The one way is in the body, and then the other way is the soul as they are unto themselves without any body, okay? That's called muzzle, he says. So that whole point of this aspect of our soul, which is the highest level of our soul, called muzzle, that is what draws down godliness to our lower aspect. And that's associated, check this out, the way he describes it. It has nothing to contain its love. The angels were spiritual, but that's still a container of some sort. They have some kind of body. Here we're saying there's an aspect of the soul that has no connection to a body whatsoever, whereas angels do. I don't think it reiterates that. You're supposed to know that just from previous chassidus. It says, they have bodies. Before we said, they don't have physical bodies. Now we describe them how they have fiery, windy bodies. They're spirits, and flaming fire. That's what angels are. Okay, you could draw one now. I don't know if you're allowed to. Just mean it figuratively. You can make a figure of something figuratively. The Kabbalah costs okay, tells you where to look it up when he's going to speak more. They are said to be a transcendent type of elevating the feminine waters. You have a pnimius and you have a makif. Now makif does not mean that it's not within. It is within and without, because it surpasses the previous context. Remember everything in its right place? You have a previous relationship between angels and souls and bodies, the Jewish people's souls and bodies. In that respect, they are internal and the Jewish people are external. But there's an aspect of transcendence that contains the core in it too. That's what's hard to understand. The Tanya speaks about this to forewarn this idea that don't think when it speaks about Seviv Kalamim that it's not inside also. Yes, because the end is rooted in the beginning and the end. So you have this yin yang at always. So at the most transcendent has the most pnimius also, which is why your souls, the aspect of muzzle, is where you draw down godliness from into your bodies through your prayer as you exist as a Jew within your body, is drawing on that. And you have different varying levels of success in doing that. But the best way to do it is when God just gives you a gift and you hear the echoing from the level of mazel. What's it called? A baskel. The baskel is like the connection. That's sort of like a gift that you connects the essence of your soul to your soul as it is in your body. Okay, I think that's the topic for today. I had some other things I wanted to talk about, but it's getting so late. There's one other section I really wanted to share with you. I don't know if I'm going to find it on the fly right now. I think I bookmarked it a little bit. Well, colored it in. Thing. Nope, not coming up. So the water disappeared with my coloring book. Okay, I sound like a little kid. Oh, here it is, I think. Yeah. Oh, it talks about the doves gazing at each other. Their pleasure is in gazing into each other's eyes. That's Psuki de Zimra. That was established along the lines of meditating on this idea of gazing into your beloved's eyes. Anila Deidi V'Deidi Li. But here we're speaking about another verse in Shir Hashirim that speaks about, I think it's in Shir Hashirim, that the doves gazing into each other's eyes. Oh, and it speaks about Radlah, the Arizal's Radlah. Perish Loi is Yada. Radlah is the highest level of godliness. Reisha de Loi is Yada. The head that is unknown. You can't say it's the head of a lion, I suppose, at that level. This is the Leis, Perish Leis Yada. What does it mean it's not known? Wisdom comes from a state of ayin, with the crown. That inspires the whole thing. The crown of the, ayin from the keser, from the level of ratzin. Ayineg, Nizkar Lashin Netzia. Here it says, wisdom comes from ayin, which is associated with keser. Ayin means nothingness. Wisdom comes out of nothing. It's ex nihilo. Okay, God created the world ex nihilo, nothing, something from nothing. So too, wisdom in its purest form is latching into creative energies that comes out of nowhere, like a lightning bolt. It comes from ayin, but it says timatze. It's found. What does it mean found? Lashon metzia she'ein hameitze metzia yedea memi ba'aloi hametzia. Because the person who discovers a finding, if you Metzia, I got a real Metzia in the shuk. You got a good deal. You discovered something. You found a hidden treasure. You don't know from whom that treasure came. Then it goes on. Vehu inyan echad im bechinas nivra'u. He connects us with the idea of creation. Ex nihilo. Same idea. Reisha d'loi yad, the very essence of God is where I guess creation sort of emerges from. I mean. Okay, it comes from Malchus, it's only the chitz. Okay, I'm not going to slug myself up at the end of my share. That doesn't. So you, the man, is about recognizing, yes, you have a shleimus. You know why you have a shleimus? Because there's a part of you that's rooted and that's just totally attached to the line, to the part, achelik elukam mamish. The mamish means that it's also in the body, but it's linked to that. There's a link. There's other yom-yoms that speak about the yud, a yud above, a yud below, and the vav in between that connects them. That's the aleph. You have a soul above, a body below, and then there's a connecting facility for that, right? That allows that bridge. That's the doves gazing at each other, the shleimus that creates. When you have everything, the range from the head to the tail, everything in that whole spectrum, from finite, the most finite, the physical specifically, to the most infinite. Reisha de la Yisyada, the unknowable, which means discovery, ex nihilo, like you cannot. There's no relationship. It's not just Bilam's idea of Ilav Alula I'm writing about, but also that God creates through causation, through just, hiding himself a little bit. No, he completely removes himself. It's called Yesh Ma'ayin. Okay, I gotta answer some emails and do some things in Dublin. And I hope you had fun with me. I had fun. I played background music for the first time. That was horrible. Just ruined my reputation. Okay, that's my reputation's based on. Ach and vey. Anyways, be normal, people. Never be chas v'shalom. What does it say? Don't be a tzaddik harbe or chassid harbe. What is it? Tzaddik harbe, I think it says in Mishlei. Or don't be too big of a tzaddik. What does that mean? Yeah. And if you were the biggest tzaddik, you wouldn't do tshuva. We've spoken about that. Like, don't be such a tzaddik means something different. It means being genuine. Be an adam. Be a real person that recognizes all aspects of yourself and integrate that, everything in its right place. Have a great day. Be in the right place today and get the brachas that you need to make your world more healthy and successful and blessed.